Ebusan for a higher juicy news. Mema Obibia Akwaba. I had the latest hot nkwa enamede bremo. Enunti se unya subscribe to channel dia bomodia share over subscribe. The way the share over click the subscribe button no. Na wa barely notification. We answer new video be upload no. When the first person what's ebe kan sa video. Afi we are na wa like video no give us a thumbs up na afi share na ofoforo so na wenye bi enhwe na wo hu ensemo a ekoso ewo Ghana memo hadam afi yebura ye ensemo a ababeto yepono so mumayitie eye sankomo ya ababeto jai sansem yekoso mumayitie
Chief Justice asem na ekoba na Cecilia Afenyo Markin afa no World Cup no say situation. Now I catch us. I'm disappointed in them because they say me mom on your credible, credible. I'm integrity be you know why? Our first statement to no mobile year, no. Our mobile can yes, Adiana President John Dramani Mahama, you know, is in line with the constitution. Obiama Kwaima and Mrani Juma. Ghana Bar Association, this was their first statement about one thing. It's in wine and the Ghana Bar Association putting Komobium. Afenyo and Kwamana Adane. Ghana Bar Association person omochira say just ade na akosoro kwa de nimram to the extent say mobile court eya wine eya saade no eya Afenyo Markin eya honorable Afenyo Markin wo hye akire wono an wone lawyers ni bia adi nkomo eno say me yusumo wo so ya just say eno Ghana for pay attention to them no eno akotwero gu ni Facebook wall Nyamnam chiro yo watwira gu ni Facebook wa kwa ko osisi honorable Afenyo Markin ni Facebook page watwira gu say Council of State Ghana for ehwamo democracy no kabeba mi kabia memo no Council of State for wo ma disappoint yen na Ghana for na aka cho so ma disappoint wo mo anase wo na Council of State for disappoint wo but Ghana ho yenyini wo politics na ye ni mu kakra de ya me ya no say Ghana for teacher binum ye hypocrite na say enyenya atwom na ye ya eniema se se honorable Afenyo Markin eni abria wo se etia mra wanti bi dana MPP fo agiram wo sa asem we hu no wo mo ye bi mra bi atwam o sa mra ne de na o mo se eye mra sa mra ne de na 1992 constitution no enkwa wom se se de no awu sa no mpo so mo ka kire yen enti say ya MPP na ya eye nyansade say ya different party na ye de a enye nyansade omo mbu nipa o omo mbu Ghana fo omo mbu nipa ana omo chita afo no so omo mbu omo so omo bu omo a enyema bebre wo omo ye sisi anko omo nye omo ni obuo ni ani de ma MPP fo no ko omo du omo chi no me ko omo nim so sa akrofo eja omo de beka bi omo gie di na omo bedi yachi eti sa etu omo ti wono omo fa common sense nya hwe omo ne common sense ato nkwanta pai eti ade bi o meye bia eye strictly partisan politics and wo mo ye sa ade ne ya papa say ya boni o eya manyosem no mo de beye na eniama wo petition we mu no ye Ghana fo na ye ni abra ye se ye protect the 1992 constitution no ye de ye ni abra ye be protect ye wo interest wom se president Mahama kwa aka so oni interest wom Ghana fo ye wo interest wom tinke be make sure say enkomo no be kwa animu Pacho Daniel Ofori ne na allegations anasa ne nsam no de call ye no ye kan drew allegation number 9 eti na ye beto also from 10 yet also from 10 after the obetin ye mabiase mami ka be nchiro Ghana Bar Association agu omhwani mase and me say mini gidie bia ma omu biem me trust wo mu biem sa integrity ne credibility na me hold ma wo no kane no ho say yakaso obi ye lawyer asumesia ya wa a certain respect bia ye de ma say nipa because na ya dwe ye yen say obi a wasua mra de odi nokure but say mama mo kwan ma politics awuram he okwa Ghana Bar Association mu a ye wa NDC ne ye wa NPP lawyers omu nyina okwa ba no so a NDC lawyers MPP lawyers enti enye de ne yanim kane na obiamo emu ache enti sa what is a Ghana Bar Association bi ye bibia eya NDC lawyers bi na ye bibi ana ye NPP lawyers bi na ye bibi that's it awase yate ya ho asesa se kane no eniema ne yanim fa lawyer fo ho so mo eka dokore no enti sa biam se ntro ene kontompo awuram politics awuram because nkwafo ko bia kwa ya law ni bi a wo mo ya lawyer fo mo ya party fo na ka 1992 constitution ye nyina ye claim si ye bo ho ban no ena de ye den ena obi si ye nko ho demonstration it is a demonstration we ye honorable Afenyo Markin the sponsor maka cho say na agenda no wo no ono no sponsor sa demonstration no enti masem bisa Dr. Bawumia say MPP na ekwo nti obekọ bi chairman team bekọ sa demo ni bia na Justin Kwadi from po bekọ bi na bi dia on na sha say we go to hit the street, we are going to hit the street on na sha sa dia na say they all have agenda party money nim so wo mo agenda for mo ho na ka me kwate ya say chairman won to me be pre-national chairman ave the MPP ayafua to the sense say won to me be national chairman mo fa ne mra how akumsi be national women organizer mo fa ne mra MPP na ne yanim no akrachi for party adabraka mani mo guase papa thank you to adane is stubborn to Meba cho ya to so point number 10 eho ene adruye C7 me kan ye ho nyina na me pa cho monya na mo fa petition no to so ne enko da ne ofori de no na ye nto aso ko maka cho say o man na ye budo bi adwen wom enye ye nko na enim nyansa wo so awo fie no so wo nim de ene ti ye je obi adwen ye to so number 10 enie da ne ofori petition a wade call ye no na legacy na ewo petition no mu eya mako 21 na no de ye kan ye no ye kan dru number 9 eti ena ye to so free number 10 actually so 10 ye or say the honorable chief justice contemptuously refuse just say contempt ewo asem bi ho and a contempt na achi oto aso ye bibi opeso wo ye also refused to comply with a decision of the High Court, Accra, Industrial Stroke Labor Court 1, presided over by His Lordship Justice Frank Abodje, dated 30th July 2024, which ordered the reinstatement of a member of staff of the Judicial Service, namely Thomas Odai Buafo, in a case titled Thomas Odai Buafo versus the Judicial Service of Ghana and Anno. Suit number no and a twaso no. Near also 11, the Honorable Chief Justice refused to comply with a decision of the High Court Accra presided over by His Lordship Justice Frank Abodje, dated 21st March 2024. Which ordered the reinstatement of the member of staff of the Judicial Service, namely Philip Kumayi Daliba, in a case titled Philip Kumayi Daliba versus the Judicial Service of Ghana and Anno. Meba cho sa allegations too ya makayama wunyina no ni tia watwam ane sem enipa bi ana wo mo eka judicial service no ehwo ana so mo kan lawyer fo kuo no ho no asem bi e bafa wo mo wa de court no judge awo high court excellence asem no wo mo wuni asem ti yansan reset wo bom yansan fra wo mo emra lawyer fo kuo ni mu ma me Gertrude Torkonoo wo se wo mfa sa ruling ni nya adwuma emra kro na ye de ye adwuma high court no ombu sa amra no enti wanye simple they also 12. The Honorable Chief Justice arbitrarily, capriciously and unreasonably dismissed Mohammed Musa, a Deputy Chief Registrar, High Court, Tamale, by letter dated 5th December 2023 in under violation of Article 151 of the 1992 Constitution and treated with contempt representations on the matter from Judicial Service Association of Ghana and Mr. Musa. So no adi ni tumi pam nkrofo yi nkrofo adi. Se mra no kura tia kura emfa ne ho. 13. The Honorable Chief Justice arbitrarily, capriciously and unreasonably dismissed Mr. Richard Boakye Agyapong by letter dated 12 October 2023 on grounds of absenting himself without permission and reporting to work conduct when dismissal is the highest penalty for major offenses and treating with contempt a decision of the Judicial Council on 29 November 2023 that a petition from Mr. Richard Boakye Agyapong be duly considered. Mr. Richard Boakye Agyapong was traumatized by the wrongful dismissal and unfortunately passed away in March 2024. Hey, Gertrude Torkonoo! Gertrude Torkonoo! Etimi afa kwan bi so apam obi afiri na dwumam ama nipa ne de ho emra no kra kire se ade na anase nipa no ne krata wode aba no yensantia si ne yahwem yantena si ahwem nipa ne ho akwakowu wawu nipa na wu won say enema koso wo judiciary ni mu a ebeye den se wo bete se won kwa court nko experience enema koso wo a obi ka beka so oboa. Ato Forson, the Honorable Chief Justice, unreasonably refused to comply with an order of the Court of Appeal dated 23rd May 2023, staying execution of a suspension imposed by the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council, which council her ladyship, the Chief Justice, is chairperson, on a lawyer, Akufo Addo, and causing circulars dated 18 February 2023 and 15 March 2024 go be issued to all courts. Now say Gertrude Torkonoo wanwa mu kra committee a wada so akwatena ase eruli asem wanwa ya chairperson ruli na de ba no afa anya adwuma. The court not to grant audience to the said lawyer. It was stated in the circular dated 18 February 2024 that the said lawyer's license has not been renewed for the year 2024 and further all courts are therefore not to grant him audience until further notice from the General Council. To me, it was also stated in the circular dated 15th March 2024 that the Ghana Bar Association had indicated by the letter that it had deactivated Mr. Addo's certificate generated on the Ghana Bar Association portal, marked or the number no akaho. All courts are to take note and take necessary action accordingly. 15. The Honorable Chief Justice unconstitutionally interfered in the judicial power of judges by purporting in a circular dated 18 February 2024 from the General Legal Council to direct as follows. The Honorable Lady Chief Justice and Chairperson of the General Legal Council has further directed that any other issue on Mr. Akufo Addo's application will be void. Hey! Nasa mama Gertrude Torkonoo to me and ekura ne Chief Justice in the use ya power. Just say baby Kwame Agyapong no kwade na asem be kwa kopie bia no o make sure say wabema wama so atese mo muntie no 16 rather. The Honorable Chief Justice unconstitutionally interfered in the judicial power of the Kaswa of our court district court in the case of Robert Aswale, operating under the business name and style Unitrans Susu Enterprise versus Justice Akanji. Suit number no ewo by summoning the registrar of the said court to her office in or about August 2023 and ordering him not to proceed with execution process that were being pursued by the plaintiff based on a decision of the district court in favor of the plaintiff. Asama yedi akwa district court to be a judge be tina asam no so no wadie no ni afa judge no wo chief justice office aka chen say sa case we me to aso me proceed. Hey, yedi sikato atentre de wa Ghana. Na woni sika obeye dey 17. The Honorable Chief Justice undermined the independence of the judiciary by nominating the president for appointing to the Supreme Court 5 additional judges based on her capricious determination. In collusion with the then president to have total partisan political control of the Supreme Court long after the term of the said president. 18. The Honorable Chief Justice arbitrarily, capriciously, and unreasonably transferred Justice Anno from the High Court in Accra to Kumasi on account of decision to Republic versus Opuni and others to conduct the trial de novo after the case was assigned to him upon the retirement of Justice Honyonuga. May I sure say in a case we Opuni. Nani bre ya se kokobot former kokobot CEO one Alhaji Sedu Agongo miame papa asem edi kopiem wo court judge anu oti asem no so no obi ya nim se judge wo ya bias chief justice ya wo bibi o se ne sa de nipa no ko ba betra asem no so no so me transfer nipa hi erade nyakopon 20 the Honorable Chief Justice arbitrarily, capriciously, unreasonably, and unlawfully interfered with the administrative responsibility of the registrar of the Court of Appeal. The Chief Justice, they are already Civil Division, Accra to put an ex parte application in the case of Professor Margaret Kweku and ORS versus Electoral Commission and John Peter Amewu Sal case before the Court of Appeal sitting in Accra or about 16 December 2024 rather. Maybe I tried the also 21 last one. The Honorable Chief Justice acted arbitrarily, capriciously, and unreasonably when upon the plaintiff representation in the case of Afenyo Markin versus Speaker of Parliament. She immediately and in the most unprecedented manner empaneled the Supreme Court for the hearing of an ex parte application in the said case. Remember, this is 21 allegations. Daniel Ofori, petitioner number 2 for the Equoya. President Ejina Swama Council of State Ati Committee was some no one after premier for the case a woman. Mamika Bibincho. Emrana Yadi Juma Ewa Ghana 1992 constitution. What kind of 21 allegations in Nana say most of them I was a Chief Justice of Crash said Branibe Jumano on one and what yet Yamrano so or Bubu court Fred judges ma woman instruction. And the case ya more interest woman no I judge or tear some no so no freno or ran over stop and no transfer. Sana na kwaso judiciary nim me no me anu ya ti abantinti enim dia kwaso onto see adi bi bedu yamfa bi ni wa asama meke unhu emuduro sana asamnetie yamfa bi niu ewa Ghana judicial system nimu a unhu asam no emuduro na NPP fuosu na mama te se eyabonye fruso no yamfa course no ntem ena mate se yase miracle aboaje se den Miana minu abema aside MPP ba power Supreme Court judges na President Mahama ayi wo mo ba pam wo mu nyina na mo ba da bank MPP for come Sir President Mahama appoint Supreme Court judges na mo de munya atwom no de medwene ho amenti ase o says Supreme Court panel na ho no ba ko pe any appointing on the NDC, one more marketing in MPP for it is a President Mahama appointed Binuma. I didn't and time another Akufo Addo echi. What they appointed Supreme Court judges. Does it mean says our appointment, Supreme Court, no? Now you're politically motivated and Nuntiama Namuania Bresa President Mahama, a Bimu Andrew said what Supreme Court, no more judges are. Now I appointing one more problem with it. Is it because of the mindset that you people had by appointing such judges to the Supreme Court? Now why na kacha mo say adwena na da mo tirim amomo de appointed Supreme Court judges ne koye no sa adwenu na President Mahamadu tirim mo sa ba bi mo Kwaku tire na asoso mo dae na mo bubo biribrim ta sa adwena na wo mo tirim no say mo pesa mo control judiciary no attention ne de anya de bi bekoso na Ghana ha ye nim say ye nyina ye ne da so sa ye ne da so na ye court mo pesa mo sai court no na mo sai court no wi anya ntokwa na mo de ba kuro nim enti adwombone a na wo mo tirim nti ana mo ye amadwen sache se ne na say judges na mo appoint wo mo no eye no cross wo ye NPP card bearer members dia mo ya no sa na kire o because President Mahamadu appointing Kwafo na mo say sa Kwafo na wa appoint wo mo no mo ba pam wo mo in your capacity as who moreover judges na ho no President Mahamadu ba wa pam obi asa na shomo just young Ghana for na ya kan ye de nim gansa meboa tata mo so ba ye kwan no bitimi wa mentiase mun kwa na wiase mun yansa nyina munim meboa ana mo party na da ne Kifet Club no mun kwa na mun concentrate na mun fixe na say next 32 years or 42 years and you consider mo amohu de mbaya mo
Mamenka say ye kase ye chichiro man a ya da bia me kase it will take the collective might and the collective effort of us all.
Yeah.
Those in power and those outside power, civil society organizations, carpenter, driver, wine, ye nyina ye collective effort and ye kikabom and ye the chichiro man. By discharging this collective responsibility, we need to be very candid, we need to be very honest, and we need to be very dispassionate. Okay. Now, issues ye confront here, ye fan no kre, enye ye nema. Ghana Bar Association stands on this Chief Justice issue na ekoso me until recently kwana minim se Ghana Bar Association edaso ho.
Oh, are they?
Oh yes, because in the last 8 years, Yahoo, the atrocities are Okroma saying, the assault on the foundations of our democracy in this country, individuals who have been hounded, the integrity of the very judiciary of which Ghana Bar Association has always been part, has been on the offense, downward offense has slide. Every single pool, every single thing be about a judiciary be just a time. Now we Ghana Bar Association at that moment could not find its voice. Nema na ekoso okroma various attacks in Nemahuna na ekoso court ruling na se be eba na nyansa nim and the general public were rising, asking critical questions. This institution was very silent. Again, the president on several occasions, President Akufo Addo, under his time, flouted the constitution of this country to the point where Domlivo issue court say the president action were deemed unconstitutional. Samra or yes, this uncle say not on a single occasion, and I will see on my voice, say. You have numerous appointments and our Supreme Court bench. Appointment and President Akufo Addo a known partisan individuals. Among for them, a papa or MPP ni uko whole central. Oko contest. It is not about whether the person qualifies or not. We are dealing with society. Civility is key. Bringing me on board, will taint the integrity of the judiciary. Ghana Bar Association could not found their voice under these horrible circumstances. Once again, here we are change of government. Now President Mahama go through processes. Man for their brother all of a sudden, then the dogs are backing once again. Oh yes, sir. Nobody will take you serious. So for me, they are just backing. You understand? Just making noise for people to hear them. But as it stands now, they've lost their essence. They have no reputation. People don't respect them. People don't regard them. And into now various social media platforms. There are several people who have had their voice or found their voice on this matter. But Ghana Bar Association alone is going through a lot of ridicule. Being because among for them said they are not credible. This is a political movement, not a bar association that is there to ensure say free and fair whatever rule of law. It is a political tool, a rogue one that is being used by some individuals for a particular agenda. And for me, that is what they are. It's the reason why people don't assign any seriousness to them. Yeah, this is a legal institution. Or Baba culture and say, dear President Ayano, it's Yamra, and he unresigning decision. Or have rejoined a statement on what the Bible and say. They could not. They could not assign a single reason. It's just a President Mahamadu Bawumia, and for that matter, you know, suspension or the message, no onyai. We are not talking about coffee makers, so we are talking about lawyers. We are talking about lawyers are talking law. So you should premise your argument on constitutional grounds. Infraction, legal infraction, say we now so President Mahamadu Bawumia, the processes has been outlined. And it's in line with the constitutional provisions as outlined in the Constitution. There hasn't been a single deviation from any of the provisions. And again, Nipana are part of the process. Mo AD na omo president asene just to ensure that this process goes through. No, these are not any individuals. So we are talking about individuals. Former Chief Justice at the bench, no, so first a former Supreme Court judge and and these are individuals that President Mahamadu cannot manipulate them. So for these people to go through the evidence that have been submitted, now I'm running into a conclusion that there is merit to this particular way, and the president can go ahead and form a committee. The president did so, and again, so the rights are president the constitutional framers, no, had that discretion. Emma President only he alone can exercise that discretion. And he says when the committee is set up to investigate the Chief Justice, the president may, that is a discretionary injunction that is imposed on the president or power and the president has activated it. Ghana Bar Association has no power. They have no authority to order and answer call President Mahamadu to resign that decision. You can only beg him, because that is a discretionary power that is imposed on the president, and only he can exercise that power. So how dare you sit somewhere and say, your friend is only who to me now, suspending the Chief Justice. Then I'm asking them, if I take you back to 2020, 2021, 2020 area, how baby, Abraham Manasseh, your friend say. Anas, an investigation now. Committee no find said there is a premier facia in the defense case now. Yet the command President Akufo Addo. Why then did he suspend your friends judges? No, he suspended 4 judges and eventually sacked them. At the time, I also suspended your mono. Now, so at the time, no, Ghana Bar Association never find anything wrong with the move by the president at the time or exercise that discretionary power to suspend your friend is saying wait for no judges, no. But today the same process is being activated that all of a sudden these people are backing like dogs as if you said they are relevant. But I'm so person nipa take you serious quite for so brabo. Sammy no over 5,000 lawyers and I'm told around 52. That tells you how unserious this whole institution is. You understand? And in some more can sabi for me, because there is no single reason, there is no logic, there is no sense, and again there is no legal backing, legal basis or any constitutional basis for any of the argument they are making. That is what I'm saying. They are just backing like dogs. Because as many people will take you serious when you premise it, oh, President Mahamadu breached this constitutional provision. And for that matter, no, the president need to. He has done this, and these are lawyers making. But if lawyers are talking like coffee makers, are just assumptions, suppositions, just throwing things, just like that, people will not take you serious. So if the president even want to go by your directive that he has breached any of the constitution, point to him which aspect of the constitution and what breach, so that we all come and says, oh, President breached this constitutional provision, and for that matter, no, there is the need for him to bring the Chief Justice back. But if lawyers are talking like this, Achiro say they are being driven by emotions, and when you are driven by emotions, you lose your senses. You talk foolishly, and for me, that is what is driving them. I'm for a way. But these are institutions that is supposed to be part of the foundational, say organizations. A bit me boy, I mean, dear minor. You expect to say they will be very intelligent, they will be very smart and very way. But sometimes you listen to people on TV and you wonder, say, we are training when we because sometimes the way they speak, you even wonder. You understand? You've seen a couple of them on TV. Sometimes it dented the credibility of our legal institutions in this country as to whether the kind of ethics, morality, and those kind of we are entitled to belong to whichever political party of our choice. Yeah. Nobody can take that thing away from us. But when you want to engage in public discourse, be mindful that you are speaking to intelligent minds out there, not gullible fools. So assembly must be factually coherent, must be premised on something substantial. I have a manipulator. Asama Brante and again, the basis of the petition, it has no partisan inclination. For instance, police in the area make a way. This is a police officer. As I'm starting with Takrade. Beach front our Takrade and our town. Now on town cry, Bronino ko Netherlands, and the girlfriend called 4G, Bronino documents. And over Thomas, I send the man, your friends, a police officer, and Otoye. As some no call causes some power of a town now or banning the town, property in the Bruni, and the man, a police officer, and a forgery. And I will do a good police in the as a lawyer, no, a senko due diligence. One ten or once or the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, na yes, some bugu niswa, or the Chief Justice Konya Banta. I hold back and forth for my no two ma or the assembly course right and never got your petition thereby at the president and in this particular case, which aspect of it in a President Mahamadu involved because a personal beef between the Chief Justice and a police officer who is a lawyer out in the other petition also talk about your friends infractions are also I don't know and you've been a troyo a audit service and casa a institution of Ghana accredited and a quiet judicial service, more audits and who these infractions and will be a chance on these infractions and our the rules and the Yansan and several other courtroom near my Akoso. So in any of these instances, NDC Nibia and also been a search and also win a search until so be a let us dwell on the facts being raised in this petition.
One of the petition, court, High Court, a ruling ma, Abo. Say you're reinstating back today, and no say ruling near the buy and
yes. That is the third petition from Sunshine, that group called Sunshine. So who read that petition? The man, yet we bow court, cause a court to just a air time, near my womb air time. So some of these near my wedding in Akahobi and over the years, the integrity of our judiciary, has been sinking. And as a country, it is our sacred responsibility and our constitutional duty as people to ensure that we sanitize this institution. That is the clarion call by a larger section of Ghanaians on the president. And that's exactly what he's doing. So what the hell is going on? If Ghana Bar Association an institution Ghana for free say baby ananka your constitution eka krebu kuroma say nka you democracy. They never found their voices. So over sana people see you become a bunch of hypocrites. Nobody will take you serious. Over the years, when the names are Debukura Ukruma FN Ghana Bar Association, all of a sudden people knew that when John Mahama president and they will come back and shamefully here they are once again barking like dogs. The question is all these years are not Ghana democracy sinking to a point and not Ghana for wanted a military rule even more than democratic rule. Where were they? Their duty is to ensure that we safeguard the foundations of our democracy. Where were they? These are legitimate questions any sensible person. You see, this emotional campaign being activated by these people, for me, is a senseless one. Nobody will take them serious. And maybe they don't know. President Mahama this time around is a different Mahama. He's not someone who will fall for some of this nonsense. He's not somebody who will fall for some of the theatrics. He's determined and focused on what he's doing. Because the mandate that has been imposed on him by Ghanaians is far bigger and larger incident. He cannot afford to fail the people of this country.
Yeah.
So as long as the people of Ghana want institutions to be reset, he will do so. And he will not default because the very moment of a default, and for me, his focus, and for the MPP as a political party, Afenyo Markin said, oh yeah, way, Makacha said, these are shameless bunch of individuals. They have lost cause. They have no credibility. There are people no serious mind will take them serious. Party na lusu, a very embarrassing faction. I expected they would just go back and then do self-introspection. The thing is that you may be dissatisfied with the turn of events.
Yeah.
But the question is, in seminar man for the con, is it legitimate or it is not legitimate? And process here, air course when they under your turn, you follow through and you do the same thing.
Sure.
And because it is John Mahama today, already on Ghana, as president, leaving the powers a constitution in the man of he cannot exercise. Now, no, my catch yourself. NDC time, Professor Mills appointed your friends a Mame Loretta, your friends a Lamte, as your friends a Shraj. Yeah, Anno Dompreh, and the one Richard Newman, a petition President Mahama said, Mamina Disika. President Mahama set up a committee to say, well, yeah, almost set it up. Yeah, premier for see a year, the Omuyena. At the end of the day, the president sacked the woman appointed under NDC by Professor John Eva Santa Mills. Went through the process. Now, even in opposition, then submitted a petition to the same John Mahama. He followed through. Now, was sacking Nipana. Now, or baby doing this no be. And the petition bar. What are you saying is that that person cannot already own or because on nipa. And again, Chief Justice na adwuma na oye what people should know said there should be a clear distinction being a Supreme Court judge and being Chief Justice. They are two different things. Yeah. This is a judge clothed with administrative powers. So you are more than a judge. So the decisions and the choices you make, our administrative impact effect. And if you do anything contrary to rules of engagement, you can be penalized for that. Yeah. But don't assume, say, you are being penalized because you are a judge. No. Administrative duty that has been given to you. Sadia na doctors in who are teaching hospital. The person is not being punished because he's a doctor. He's being punished because a doctor being given extra administrative duty. And administrative duty in the discharge of it, he has defaulted. And that is why he's being punished. You understand? So, what you want to say, what would need clarity of thought? Now, if you want to do narrow thinking, if you don't want to do expanded thinking, if you want to go linear way, this is the way you think. And sometimes I feel so surprised and ashamed when I see old men with BS sitting on TV calling themselves lawyers, talking rubbish. Sometimes when they speak, they appear more confused on issues of law, even more than a coffee maker trying to understand law. That's what I'm saying, sir. Because sometimes some of these people, because honesty any their part into Ghana na with me sorry time about two lawyers back on the same issue. Interpretation with here depending on baby obi agina across the political the same classroom, learn the same thing. But because of dishonesty, they will never agree on anything. And in some more it's not driven by Nyansao, it's driven by emotions. And that is why we are not moving on. But for me, we learn law just to advance the progress of society. Yeah. But in our part of the world, you could see a lot of Bediatuo. Yeah. So, oh yes, you could see a lot of Bediatuo with TV. So now, so society has no impact. And the other one I acquire them. So I think the president needs to remain firm, resolute, and stay on course. Because for me, as enshrined in the 1992 Constitution, as outlined in Article 146, the president as of now has never and has not breached anything. One, or say a petition will have to be submitted. The petition will have to be forwarded to Council of State. My culture said that is not a discretionary injunction, that is a constitutional injunction on the president. Council of State, they are not people we can bulldoze at them and influence them. These people sat on the petition, and according to some sources, which I doubt though, because a significant number of the people agree, say, there is merit in this petition. We cannot just discharge it, we cannot throw it away. So, Mr. President, let us form a committee. Judges. And what is your beef? demonstration na MPP for Kwaku to what end? For what? So this emotional campaign, and I make us say, Ghana for are very matured individuals. So you see, you can do all these things. Yeah. And I'm a catcher IGP says, Obi a demonstration with Kroma, he should never stop anybody. He should allow anybody who wants, because that is their constitutional way. But Ghana for are smart now. They can discern between propaganda and your friends say what is actually the fact, because so cancer man for quiet demonstration because processes has been activated to remove Chief Justice who basis in the saying and then a Chief Justice and I am a writer or be wrong. And now why they been wrong will be that should be the basis of being quiet demonstration. These are a major part of our politicking in this country has always been premised on emotions, because we know we are dealing with a bunch of emotional, unintelligent people. When we shout, they will come out and follow us. But through these platforms here, these advocacies, young people are becoming largely and increasingly enlightened. And they are getting to understand politics. You cannot be calling people out for a foolish cause. Trust me. People might want to know why we want to do this, why we did this, why we want to do this. And at the end of the day, if you are unable to provide reasonable and legitimate basis for your actions, trust me, nobody will take you serious. That is why I've been telling you that a time is coming. There are many people who have, over the years, been deemed relevant on the political stage. Yes, because the people were emotional. There are a lot of people on political platform, they will fade away like a morning dew because they have no relevance. They are there because the people were not smart, the people were not intelligent. So they couldn't figure out that we were dealing with a bunch of idiots. But when people become smart and very intelligent, they will know them for who they are. And for me, these people to take the bull by the horn and make sure that my culture says this Ghanaian dream is possible, but nobody can make it apart from ourselves. We need to be active participant and lead a charge, because you see future leaders leading this conversation. How can we sit here and allow grown men who will be living tomorrow to make that decision for us? We need to be active participant and shape the future we want, a future of our own design, a future of our own creation, so that when we get there, we know, say, this is what we created for ourselves. And fortunately for us, there are vast majority of young people locked with talent in Asante. How do we do all these things to ensure that the politics will benefit people? But always, this senseless emotional politics, young farm for na media and so instead of them to just look at the issues and address them, because say MPP focus on bad demonstration on better platforms. I will ask them, what are your bases? If the person is not able to provide any sensible reason, you sack the person from your platform. Because apart from that, anything they are doing is an emotional campaign. And politics has no space for emotions. Emotions is a result for Obia, or you're depressed, and somebody who is unreasonable. Sure. But at the intellectual table, there is no room for emotions. Oh yes, you do away with emotions, zero emotion. You deal with fact, evidence, and then as a forum. But we've given prominence, oxygen of publicity to some of these individuals, and quote unquote, they think they are very relevant and sensible. This guy, Kafo MP. I'm saying, yes, he's all over the place. And I'm the cocoa, Nyansa Bia, somebody cocoa. There is no single reason Bia and somebody cocoa, Nyansa Bakokranim, but because the media will give him that coverage. Oh, what are the court? Go to court based on what? A Mrana president NAPO. Because is the president barred from exercising provisions as outlined in the constitution? The president has that sole power and the discretion to exercise those powers. And the media will hand our form. There is absolutely nothing. So I think
Charlotte said there's a the court.
Yes.
Emma Godfrey Damiko Echo defend say a seminal crown could make me up them 5 years with the saying. Yeah, President Crow when more born was second.
Yes, because with him. Constitution, and I'm the nature of our constitution now. Here, practice an executive presidency, where the president is clothed with enormous power. That power are very overriding to the stance until the constitution be put to full stop there. Nothing can stop the president. And in this regard, the constitutional provision, explicitly, where any implicit interpretation, explicitly on the face of it, when you read. It makes sense. The clarity is there. You know that these are the roles that has been assigned to the president. And this are some of the things. You see, some of the constitutional provisions are such that when they appear a bit vague. We can invent procedures and instruments to streamline it, but it doesn't mean say you can forgo what the Constitution has actually written. So, President say, Constitution say obi the petition ba against this person. These are the line the president will have to walk. John Mahama from day one has been walking through the same way. Ghana Bar Association, if you have any concern, premise it on something reasonable, something sensible that will call people. Oh, Adia Papa Noyan and yet speaking against. But as it stands now, there is no single sensible justification for what they are doing. So for me, these people are just barking dogs. Nobody should take them serious. Among themselves, oh yes, there are lawyers in this country who don't regard the Ghana Bar Association. They don't respect them. They are own people. It's a reason I'm calling meeting now. You're saying an association of about 5,000 members. Exactly. It tells you they don't even regard the institution. So it's a lesson. I'm sending a message to lawyers in this country. You see, no winning. Dodo na elusu omo grounds. You can go to court. Chief
Justice Obro Mraswa na is he above the law?
No, sir. When Makacha say Kroma said, only say Kroma no say issue bar. Na kwanya petition no file so eliki no. Chief Justice enimu. Kwanya all trone letter ede akwa President Mahama say o man copy eliki no he na onimu because you need to fight if you go to the constitutional line we can win. So let us activate a bit of emotions. Oh John Mahama baro na why na gen say when you sway the conversation to that particular line you gather more muscles in terms of politics to be able to fight. But if you are going strictly by the constitutional provision, you won't have enough. It's the reason why MPP has become a barking dog. A dog that is providing the vocal way for them and shouting all over. What are your bases? What are your reasons? There is absolutely nothing sensible that they can offer to justify why they are doing what they are doing. So for me, I think some of us are very focused. I will never sit here and support anything unconstitutional that is being done by the president. Or from we will go after him. We will criticize him. But as it stands now, nobody. Ghana Bar Association, this is a legal institution. They could not even one. MPP, as of now, has not been able to. All that they are saying is, John Mahama can say Oba or Besaki Chief Justice. And the fact is that majority of Ghanaians in this country are very worried about the reputation of our judiciary. We can't live in a country where majority of the people will feel dissatisfied the way a man and a judiciary operate. A time will come, Obino Binya Sama, they will not go to court. And for me, that is something very dangerous that we need to kill. Investors are coming. If investors are back from say, oh, the judiciary is very corrupt institution, you think they will bring their monies? Do you think they will bring their monies? They will not. Society, you see that dollar has become a bit stable. Do you know why? I want to say that because investor confidence is a bit strengthened. So Obia or any business can say, okay, let me bring my investment here. That is why there is more dollars coming at Emma stabilizing. So if we don't do things to sustain the confidence of winner, we lose our clout. And for me, we need to disregard these people. Ghana Bar Association has demonstrated time and time, say, for them, they have no reputation. They are very dishonest class of individuals. Nobody should take them serious. And for me, that is what it is.
So it is for winning somewhere about beto. So make out say so when you subscribe to channel idea, but more than say over subscribe. Now fee well like video don't give us a thumbs up. Now fee share my offer so now when you be here now somewhere cause Ghana memoir. Also wait me otchere wondering afire some way you comment box in in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.